As the years went by, the story of the vanishing hitchhiker became a local legend passed down from generation to generation. People continued to report seeing her ghostly figure on stormy nights, and some claimed that they had even given her a ride, only to have her disappear into thin air. But as technology advanced and people became more connected, the legend of the vanishing hitchhiker began to take on a life of its own. Websites dedicated to paranormal phenomena sprang up, and people from all over the world began to share their own stories of encountering the vanishing hitchhiker. Some claimed to have seen her on roads far from where she had died, while others said that they had encountered her in broad daylight, her ghostly figure standing out against the bright sunlight. The legend of the vanishing hitchhiker had gone global, and people from all walks of life were now fascinated by her story. One group of paranormal investigators in particular became obsessed with the vanishing hitchhiker. They traveled to the area where she had died, armed with all the latest equipment and technology, determined to capture evidence of her ghostly presence. They camped out on the side of the road, waiting for a stormy night when the vanishing hitchhiker was said to be most active. As the rain began to fall and the wind began to howl, they set up their cameras and microphones, hoping to capture some evidence of her ghostly form. And then, just as they were about to give up hope, they saw her. The vanishing hitchhiker standing on the side of the road in her white dress, her hair whipping around her face in the wind. They watched as she put out her thumb, signaling for a ride. The investigators hesitated for a moment, unsure of what to do. But then one of them got behind the wheel of their van and drove over to where the hitchhiker was standing. They rolled down the window and asked her if she needed a ride. She nodded silently and climbed into the back seat of the van. The investigators continued down the road, their cameras and microphones capturing every detail of the encounter. But just as quickly as she had appeared, the vanishing hitchhiker vanished once again. The investigators searched the area, but there was no sign of her. They went back over their footage and audio recordings, but there was no evidence of her presence. And so the legend of the vanishing hitchhiker continued, a mystery that would never be fully solved. People continued to report seeing her ghostly figure on stormy nights, and some even claimed to have given her a ride, only to have her disappear into thin air. But for those who had encountered her, the memory of that encounter would stay with them forever. They knew that they had come face to face with something beyond their understanding, something that defied explanation and reason. The vanishing hitchhiker remained a mystery, a legend that would continue to fascinate and terrify people for generations to come.